1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, it's time to learn Red-Haired Boy. A Red-Haired Boy is one of those classic fiddle tunes that gets called off at bluegrass jams all the time. We're in the key of A, so we're going to use a capo on the 2nd fret, and that enables us to play in the open position and use a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Hammer-ons and pull-offs are a way that we can play some of these faster licks without having to play every single note with our right hand. So a hammer-on, play an open string, and then drop the bar down on the string, we got a hammer-on. That's a note I didn't have to play with my right hand. Pull-off is the other way around, where I've already got the bar on the string. Play, and then kind of pick the string with the bar to get that pull-off. That's another way to play a note without having to play with the right hand. So then you kind of put those together and you can get these kind of flurry of faster bluegrass sounding licks. Something like that. So that lick would be really difficult to do if I had to play every note with my right hand, but hammer-ons and pull-offs take the pressure off the right hand so we can play these fast licks. Let's take a close-up view. Make sure you get your technique correct on the hammer-ons and the pull-offs before you start Red-Haired Boy. All right, here we go. Okay, let's take a close-up look at how to do these hammer-ons and pull-offs. So first, the hammer-on. I'm using a capo on the 2nd fret here because we're going to be playing Red-Haired Boy, which is in the key of A. And the hammer-ons and pull-offs tend to be more useful and more prominent when you're playing in the open position. So we're going to be playing in the key of A, the open position with a capo on the 2nd fret. All right, so when you're doing a hammer-on, you're always playing a note first. You don't just do a hammer-on out of the blue because you don't get a whole lot of sound that way. But since the string is already vibrating, you can keep it going with that hammer-on. So important that you got an angled bar technique. You don't want to come down on all the strings. Otherwise, you hammer on a whole chord, and you just want that one note. All right, so angled bar technique, and you got to hit just the one string that you want. I'm also coming down with these fingers here and muting behind the string. Hard to do when you're on the 1st fret. So the hammer-on is pretty straightforward. So there, I got 2 notes for the price of 1. Now, let's take a look at the pull-off. Now, for the pull-off, I'm going to be using the sharp tip of the bar here to kind of pluck the string. Notice I'm pulling straight this way. I'll give you this angle. A lot of people, when they do their pull-offs, will either lift the bar straight up, and you get that kind of extra zing, and you don't get a lot of crisp, nice tone. If I pull this way, this is correct. Now, sometimes you have to pull up into the air, but I like to just pull straight across so that I actually end up with the bar on the next string. That's really useful if you're going to play that next string next, which happens a lot. So I don't have to then find the string again. I'm already there. All right. Now, if you don't have a sharp tip, you're going to have a little bit of a trouble. So this is a Shelb SP2, which is a nice bar. I like it for lap steel, but this has a bullet tip. This is rounded here. If I try a pull-off on a Dobro with that rounded tip, it's very wimpy. Now I could use the other side of the bar. See, this side is not rounded. And that works pretty good. Or if I use my shear horn bar, it's sharp on both sides. Nice, crisp, clean pull-offs. And then you put those two together, you got the hammer-ons and the pull-offs, and you have like, I can get 3 notes for the price of 1. I play 1, hammer-on, and pull-off. So when you hear those Dobro players rattle off those fast licks that seem impossible, there's usually hammer-ons and pull-offs involved. Right there. There's a lick that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 notes. I only had to play 3 of them with my right hand. You start Red Hair Boy. Red Hair Boy starts with... There's 5 notes. I only played 2 of them with my right hand. Thumb, hammer, index, hammer, pull off. Now when you look at the chart for Red Hair Boy, I put down the fingering there so that you can see which ones are hammer-ons, which ones are pull-offs, where there's a slide, and then also which finger on the right hand that I used, so that you can meticulously get that together so that you're in position to make a nice hammer-on and pull-off. And it's a great song to learn to do hammer-ons and pull-offs. There's a ton of them in there. And it's one of those songs that sounds pretty tricky, but once you get the hang of it, you can play it pretty darn fast. So even when you're at the Bluegrass Jam and they start to play it at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you might be able to keep up with that one. So good luck with Red Hair Boy, and I hope your hammer-ons and pull-offs come off nice and clean, and you'll be able to keep up at the fast Bluegrass Jams. All right, we'll see you soon.